Adam, thank you. Well, tonight on WIS News Primetime, 7 K9 officers killed in the line of duty since the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division started using K9s in the 1940s.
Now, former SLED agents and employees are working to create a memorial to honor their service. They're hopeful to have the memorial placed at the SLED headquarters right here in Columbia.
So joining us tonight is retired SLED Assistant Chief Benjamin Thomas, sharing more about the initiative and how the Society of Former Agents of SLED is hoping to raise money for this memorial. So thank you so much for being here with us. So first, I would love to hear just kind of how this idea, the inspiration, came to be.
Well, Chief Keel and I maintained a relationship, and when we lost Rico in 23 and Koba in 24, we were talking about something needed to be done, not just for them, but to recognize the history of the K9 program at SLED. And one night he said on the phone, he said, if I put together a group, would you lead it and take this initiative for us? And I said, absolutely.
Yeah, and talk about just the tremendous bond that the K9s have with the officers on the force. You know, it really is a bond that is difficult to describe and really put our minds around, but they're officers in and of themselves, those dogs, and they become just like the best friend you'll ever have.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you get up in the morning, you go your way, your spouse goes hers, kids go to school, but every time you look over your shoulder, that K9 is right there with you constantly. So that bond builds, and you have to care for that animal. You have to be able to understand when it has a need because it can't talk to you.
And you talked a little bit about the history, but how did it first begin? How long has SLED had K9s?
In 1947, then Sergeant J.P. Strom knew it was needed, and the agency didn't have the money. So he went in his pocket, took out his own money, and bought the first two dogs, named Brownie and Money. And there's reports of legislative reports by then Chief Townsend about K9 activity in 1947.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, oftentimes people don't realize the vital role that K9s play in investigations and in pursuits and just in different areas of police work. Give us an idea of just how vital K9s are to the work that SLED does.
Well, let's address the two that I mentioned that we lost in the line of duty recently. Because we lost them and we grieve for them, we brought two fathers, two sons, and two husbands back home to their families. Now, you know, that to me is a focus of how important the K9 is in police work today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are working. They are officers in and of themselves, and their role is crucial. It does things that sometimes men and women can't do, and it is just such an important role. Going on about this memorial, it's something that is needed, but it's hard to acknowledge that we need it. Tell us a little bit about kind of what the look of it would be. What is y'all's envision for it?
Well, when I met with the group that Chief put together to find out what do you folks want, what would you like to have? And of course the memorial for those lost in the line of duty was front and foremost. Yeah. But then the guys who have been there a long time and they ran bloodhounds, and they said, well, what about these others that have served and done what we asked them to do? So there will be a tower for each branch that has K9 assets. And then there will be an honor tower, obviously, for those that lost their life in the line of duty. But there is a tower for each branch of SLED that has K9 assets such as narcotics, arson, bomb, tracking, the utility dog, which does a lot of different assignments.
Yeah, well, what sort of response have you received so far when it comes to a memorial like this? What are you hearing from former agents and those who work with these dogs?
Well, the K9 teams at SLED are excited about it because I've talked to them and taken advice from them and how we should develop it and what they would be proud to have. And then our Society of Retired Agents and the Foundation of Retired Employees have bought in, want to see it done, want to see the legacy that they worked for remembered. And it will be living because it will be able to be added to in the future if needed. It's not a one-stop, one-time thing.
Right. Well, speaking of kind of how it is coming to fruition, I know we were talking a little bit off camera, but for those who want to get involved and help bring this to life, tell us kind of what that looks like.
Well, we have a GoFundMe page, and obviously we need to raise funds, and then we also have a treasurer and a P.O. box number, and we also have a phone number that if people have questions that they can contact and ask questions about what they can do to help us.
Absolutely, and I know we'll have that on our website, wistv.com as well. I know I'm kind of going backwards in this, but when you see K9s, I mean, you see them when they are trained up, but what is the work it takes when y'all get them, kind of the time commitment to create these officers?
Well, the time commitment is every day. They don't just, sit in a vehicle waiting for a call. They're training, they're working out with the handler, they're learning how to respond to certain situations. So, it's a everyday training environment, and particularly with tracking dogs and the utility dogs.
Yeah, and once again, the idea of just how vital K9s are to the work that you all do. I can imagine that there are many crimes that wouldn't be solved if not for K9s.
I would agree with that, as well as finding a lost child or someone who's walked off from a nursing facility.
Yeah.
That's just as important as any crime, because we're saving lives using K9 assets.
Kind of on that notion, just reiterate why it is so important to honor, why this memorial really is important for the handlers, but then the K9 officers themselves, why we should honor them.
The amount of time and the fact that they give their life, whether they are die of natural causes at some point or whether they're killed in the line of duty. They understand, they have feelings like we do. A dog can sense a lot. Their recognition is important, and for the future to have a legacy left of from 1947 to 2025 or 2026 and beyond. And we'll have it tied to the webpage at SLED so that history will be updated.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's fantastic work, and can't wait to see the final product come together. Thank you so much for taking time with us. We appreciate it.
We're really grateful for WIS giving us the opportunity to get our message out and to let the public know that the State Law Enforcement Division is their point for whatever they need in law enforcement.
And thank y'all for what y'all do.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us. More Prime Time after the break.